to funding a piece.
Is all of this based on 2022's MJ's estimates?
The 3.3 million, yes.
From 2022?
I think it's 2023 now.
Yeah, 2023.
Does it need to be re-quoted?
I'm pretty sure it was 22. I went and dug
I
around
thought it
for
was
why
2022.
it was rejected, and from EFC they said there was no bond resolution. You didn't complete the application properly. Sorry. That's why we've been working on this for so long.
But again, at no point in time was it ever stated that the town would be on the hook and we would bond $800,000.
I agree. That's I saw it today, and that's why I'm balking a little bit, right? Because I think this is a great great grant, great opportunity for the town.
Oh, me too.
But I'm balking because again, it's $800,000 that we have, but we also have other
Where do we
things
have
to
it? What? Where do we have it?
Well, I mean,
We have 1.7 million in fund balance.
But,
and
but
general-
this is
You can't use
this is
it.
a special district.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
You can make a loan, you could, but at the end of the day,
You can't just transfer money
beneficiaries
to-
of the sewer district.
Correct.
there's also in SS, I think it's 8060. What is it? $280,000. Keith?
what's that?
No, what am I
It
talking
was in the
about?
supervisor's report, I assume.
But how much money does he use of that per year?
Well, equipment line. So none so far, because we're trying to get this grant because the project is much larger than the money that we have.
I mean,
So that's why we're going out for these grants, and it's of a piece.
I mean, between that and maybe night class, I mean, you get a couple $100,000 in there. I mean, that's half. You only bond out $400,000. It's an easier pill to swallow.
But again, I don't think you can pull back money
Yeah.
from night class and then just throw it into SS.
But budget season is coming up, and I
Yeah.
already told Keith that we're gonna be concentrating on the wastewater treatment plant because it's been neglected for 18 years.
Yeah.
So what is your thought, supervisor, and as the chief fiscal officer, how we're gonna come up with $800,000 if in the event that's what we need?
When we come to cross that bridge, that's what we're going to look at. If
Yeah, I'm
we
not-
can't get the grants for it, we'll have to bond it out. I mean, we were gonna bond out $7 million. We don't know if we're gonna bond out a $270,000 truck. And when we're gonna need another one, it's part of, once again, of a very large project that is sort of attempted to be addressed 3 years ago, but the pieces weren't put into place, so that's why we're doing it properly now.
Like I said, I just don't see any town board in the future putting money into the sewer to help remedy some of the major issues we have. Not because they don't want to, because we just can't. We're a small town. So this is an opportunity to do so. And it's it's a lot of money, I get that, but when else
It has to be done, even if we don't get the grant, we're still gonna have to fix it somehow.
Exactly.
And that'll be
I
a
agree.
bond.
I mean-
Probably a 30-year, and once again, this is a Ben Side question, because there are multiple ways to pay for these things. Some are loans that have no interest, some are grants. The list is endless. This is why this takes so long. This is why it's been months of work.
But again, my frustration is the fact that this information was just provided to us at 3:00 yesterday afternoon. As far as the fact that we would have to come up with anything in excess of $2 million or $2.5 million.
But besides that point, you're right. I mean, we know the numbers, we know the facts as of right now. I mean, Ron, I'm curious your opinion. What do you think?
Well, I think we need to change some language. We have so many irons in the fire, and I think that there are a lot of things that we're still neglecting that we haven't even thought about yet. We have this building here. We have a police department that we haven't even talked about what we're doing with them yet. We have a court that needs to be taken care of. We don't know what's gonna cost us for the old doctor's office yet. We know we're trying to get that started. So, I mean, if we're going to do this, I'd like to see some phrasing in there that gives us the out.
And maybe some discussions with the village about helping pay for anything that's in excess.
That's on the side right now, but yes, that should be open to discussion, but we need to work on this right now.
Okay. I mean, again, this is just for discussion purposes. We as a board haven't had the opportunity to discuss it. We're discussing it. However you guys want to proceed, you know, I'll vote accordingly. But at this point in time, I'm not gonna second this resolution, so if there's another second, or if there's more discussion.
Is it, would it be, and I know we have the 31st, we have to have everything done by the 31st, correct? That's our deadline. Is it beneficial to say, sit on it, table it for now, but have a special meeting,
Special meeting. Yeah.
like
before
Thursday next week?
I mean, I think we owe it to our community and the public.
And I would just caveat that with, it might need to be before Thursday, right? If they have to file
Sure.
on the 31st, then,
Right.
you know, maybe you have it Monday or Tuesday.
And it would be helpful if, you know, the individual from LaBerge came to answer some of these questions with regards to interest-free loans and other avenues to pursue.
I mean, personally, I'd feel more comfortable doing that. I mean, I'm leaning towards, you know, I think we should do it for various reasons, but you know, like any big decision, it took me, you know, months to think about buying a new vehicle, let alone spending $800,000 possibly. So
Maybe discussing, you having a conversation with LaBerge too about wording.
Yeah, I mean, we could certainly, you know, we can make the clarifications we talked about, but we can, also add, if there are other suggestions you have in terms of how to clarify that further, I'd be happy to redraft it.
I mean, I just looked at my schedule. I could accommodate Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
I can't do that.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, but you don't need me before the so.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
But however you guys want to proceed, I'm not, you know,
Are you free Tuesday?
Pardon me?
Are you free Tuesday? Mr. Donnelly, are you free Tuesday?
Probably.
Why don't you table it and get the right verbiage?
Well, we would have to table it and do a special meeting, so that's what we're looking to see for our availability, I believe.
I mean, is that how the board, Mike just suggested that. I mean, I don't know that the supervisor's in favor of that, so if there is a second, we can
Well, we'll
proceed.
need to
Well,
contact
can-
LaBerge. Are they able to come down on Tuesday?
I don't know.
I know that Ben Seiden had been able to make a few meetings for.
Scott's number.
We'll just go back for a minute. If you put the if Rich puts the language in now.
Right now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's good
I'm not
for me.
comfortable with the
But are
fact
there
that,
enough of us to pass it? You're not comfortable either, Mike?
I don't know.
Michael's going to just reach out to Scott Tyden at LaBerge and see his availability.
thanks, chief.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, actually, I think Scott said that we could probably give him a call during a meeting if there are questions.
That's what he's doing. That's right, yeah.
I apologize to the people in the audience. I apologize to the people watching.
No, you don't have
But-
to.
Open up for us.
I mean, this is what we should be doing. We should be, you know, talking about it and,
That's fine.
you know,
And again, had I had this specific language in play prior to yesterday afternoon, we would have had this discussion already. Nobody has ever talked about bonding $800,000 to $1.3 million. And again, like you, Mike, I was under the impression that if we got $2.5 million, we were spending $2.5 million. It wasn't, okay, it's $2 million or nothing. If it's nothing, the whole thing goes away. We're still left with a $3.3 million mess. But if we don't get $2 million, or if we do get $2 million, now this resolution and that grant subjects us to be on the hook for anything up to that $3.3 million. That was never discussed.
And the 3,366,000, was that from the PER?
I mean, frankly, we got that number from LaBerge on Tuesday. So, you know, we understood that they needed the resolution to express the town's commitment to essentially come up with the difference.
How did we just get that number on Tuesday if MJ gave us a quote in 2022?
There's three
I mean, I
separate
didn't-
projects. You have phase one, which is the lift stations and the trunk lines, and then you have the wastewater treatment plant, and then the third option is combining them both.
So LaBerge at no point in time ever calculated
I
a
think,
full.
no, I think they had it. I think just in my office in terms of, I mean, honestly, I have not focused on that piece of it. We've looked at, you know, what are the legal documents we need to have in place to be able to proceed with this grant. We asked them for the dollar amounts that have to get plugged in, and these are the numbers they gave us.
I mean, we can pass on this resolution, not table it, we can pass and go on to the next one until we get some information, or we can sit.
I say let's just do that so we can keep moving things along, like just put it aside for now and we can,
So we're not tabling it,
no.
we're just waiting to get some more information.
Yes.
I would note, and we can either act on them or not, but 9.4 and 9.5 are necessary if you're not gonna proceed with 9.2,
They're
so.
tied in.
So you can do them tonight, but it
Right.
doesn't really matter, or you could do them if you have another meeting.
Okay, well, he's back.
So I don't have Scott's cell number. I emailed him and I asked him to give me a call. Hopefully he'll see that.
So we have to hold on.
Thank you.
on this too.
His office number isn't on his email. He's been saying that he's been in the office until 9 o'clock for the
It
past.
is- He didn't pick up.
Okay.
And we don't have his cell number?
I don't know.
Supervisor, you don't have his cell number? You communicate with him right through office, okay. Okay, so is that what we're gonna do, or are we gonna second it and go forward?
I say let's just wait and see if he reads the email and calls us back in the next 20 minutes or so. I say we keep going with the resolutions.
So we're gonna hold off on the next two,
9.4, 9.5, let's go to 9.6.
which is the approval to advertise for public bidding, am I correct?
Yep.
Yes,
Okay. So this is gonna be me?
I believe so, right?
Okay. I, Councilmember Schmidt, offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas LaBerge Group, a duly licensed engineering firm permitted to practice in the state of New York, had previously been retained to prepare contract documents for a building retrofit construction project, to complete interior building retrofit work at the town of Queens' new town hall facility at 2524 Route 9W. And whereas LaBerge Group has prepared the required contract documents necessary for the project and provided them to the town board and town attorney. Now therefore be it resolved that, one, the town board does hereby accept and approve the proposed contract documents for bidding, and two, the town clerk is authorized to work with the town supervisor and town attorney to advertise for construction bids for the project using the contract documents approved by the board with a bid opening date of August 26, 2025 at 2:00 p.m. at the Town of Queens Town Hall, 18 Russell Avenue, Ravena, New York.
I'll second that.
So everybody's had a chance, because I don't think as a board we've had a chance to discuss the plans. Everybody read the contract?
Yes.
Everybody's good with it?
Yes.
I would just, one clarification I would note on the contract, that is a standard contract document that LaBerge has put together over the years for these types of projects. You will note that in there is a proposed liquidated damages charge of $250 a day if the project is not completed on time. We've suggested to LaBerge that we increase that to $1,000 a day, and they agreed to that. And so, sort of with that caveat, those would be the contract documents we'll proceed with. Michael and I have talked about a few other clarifications we would include in there that I would characterize as non-substantive, choice of law, choice of venue, that type of thing. In the event of a dispute, we insist on it being in, Albany County, not in Rochester, if a contractor comes from there. But with those clarifications, we're okay. I mean, they're standard contract documents for this type of project.
Thank you.
So I think that that's a good thought process. I think it's going to deter someone. It could be not good for us too, because that could deter someone from bidding.
Yep.
My review of the contract didn't indicate a mandatory start date. It just included a mandatory end date, which was, I believe, the middle of December.
December 15th, correct. So the bids would be returnable on Tuesday, August 26th.
Correct.
LaBerge has indicated they will look at them. They will try and turn that review around as quickly as possible. I let them know today that you have a meeting on Thursday, August 28th, and it would be great to be able to award a bid at that time. If not, it may be that you'll want to schedule a public hearing so that you don't have to wait, or
A special meeting.
So you don't have to wait an additional 2 weeks. But it's understood that basically we'll turn that around as quickly as possible, or LaBerge will. But the real commitment is that the contractor is going to be done by December 15th.
Right.
We had those exact discussions with LaBerge about the fact that the higher you make that liquidated damages number, the fewer applicants or bidders you may get. And so there's a little bit of of a dance there, but it strikes me that you want it high enough to really create an incentive. And if for some reason, contractors aren't willing to bid under those circumstances, we might as well know it now, rather than have them say they're gonna meet it and essentially just see a $250 a day penalty as a cost of doing business and never intend to actually meet that bid. So, I've seen $1,000 a day for other public works projects. It strikes me as a significant incentive. If they're 10 days late, they just lost $10,000, right? I mean, that's a motivating factor.
And what happens in the event that there's a supply chain issue? Not that that's gonna happen, but we've seen it in the past.
Yeah,
And is that on the contractor?
I'll look at that specific language. I mean, generally, it's sort of acts of God, right, that they're not responsible for. I don't know that a supply chain issue really alleviates.
Okay. So if there's a supply chain issue, there's a chance that they're gonna be obligated and on the hook.
They'd be on the hook, right. If they encounter something that all of a sudden causes them to have to pay overtime, that's really on them, right? I mean, they're going to estimate a sum certain that they will do this project for.
I mean, they're bidding on a contract that says that they will complete the job by December 15th.
News?
Should we finish this resolution and then?
Oh, sure.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Scott would be available on Tuesday night.
So would we do Tuesday, the 29th at 6 o'clock?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay.
We want to make that motion now to have the town clerk's office publish that.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we are going to schedule a special meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Queens on Tuesday, July 29th at 6 o'clock PM. And we authorize the town clerk's office to notice that as applicable.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Declaring the Queens Landing Riverfront Park Improvements Project a Type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA. I, Councilmember Bruno, offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas the town of Queens, the town, intends to complete the Queens Landing Riverfront Park Improvements Project consists of park enhancements. And whereas the scope of work includes the following: 1, a 40 by 20 gazebo to replace the existing aging gazebo. 2, a dog park enclosed by a 450 feet chain link fence. 3, a 10 feet by 18 feet sports ramada near the existing basketball court. 4, a new sign for the entrance of the park. And 5, 3 flag poles for the American flag, POW/MIA flag, and the New York State flag. And whereas the town board of the town seeks to authorize the submission of a grant application by the Board of Cooperative Educational Services, BOCES, on behalf of the town for a 50% matching grant for the project. Whereas the town may be required by state regulations as the grantee of state funding to undertake an environmental review of the project under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, if the grant is awarded. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Queens has declared the project scope of work consisting of: 1, a 40 feet by 20 feet gazebo to replace the existing aging gazebo, a dog park enclosed by a 450 feet chain link fence. 3, a 10 feet by 18 feet sports ramada near the existing basketball court. 4, a new sign for the entrance of the park. And 5, 3 flag poles for the American flag, POW/MIA flag, and New York State flag, to be considered a Type 2 action under the SECRA in accordance with 6 NYCRR 617.5, if no thresholds in part 617.4 are exceeded. 617.5, 1, maintenance or repair involving no substantial changes in an existing structure or facility. 9, construction or expansion of a primary or accessory apartment, non-residential structure, or facility involving less than 4,000 square feet of gross floor area and not involving a change in zoning or use variance inconsistent with local land use controls, but not radio communication or microwave transmission facilities. And be it further resolved, the town board of the town of Queens hereby designates the town supervisor as certifying officer for the environmental review process, and the town supervisor is authorized to sign all documents pertinent to SECRO with respect to this project.
I'll second.
Discussion?
I have discussion, but does anybody else wanna go first, or?
Well, I was gonna ask more questions with the next resolution, but they sort of go hand in hand. So, Mr. Donnelly, I had a conversation with you a couple days ago in your office, because we were talking about this. Now, we hired BOCES, we paid $20,000 for their services for grant writing, and we decided as a board that we should go after, there were grants available for parks and recreation improvements up to the center. If I'm not mistaken, the way you explained it to me, what we're seeing here is the third stage of, essentially a third grant or the third stage of working with BOCES, but there's stage 1 and stage 2 as well. Can you just tell me and the board, like, this is stage 3, what is stage 1 and what is stage 2?
So BOCES already wrote 2 grants for Riverfront. One is for 2 pavilions. That grant had, I think, a limit of $495,000. The 2 pavilions, one for the soccer park, and I think they're both the same size, 100 foot by 40 or whatever, really big. And then the other one for the farmers market that we want to have, and also for residents to go into. So that was the first grant that we wrote. For $500,000 essentially.
When was that submitted?
I don't recall getting information on that, I apologize if I missed it. But
Yeah, that's what I said, when was that submitted?
I don't recall ever receiving.
It was actually foiled. It was talked about when we talked about the BOCES grants for the town board, for any input that you have, any grants that we would want to do.
I know we talked about going after
back
grants
into
for the
March.
riverfront.
So around March it was submitted?
Yeah, you can email me, and actually Candace probably has information because it was foiled. The second one is the Albany County grant that BOCES wrote for us for $15,000 for the kiosk for the kayaks that are across the park. That's going to be ADA, because when I went down to the park and spoke to people launching boats and people in kayaks, they said there was always in the summer traffic jams of boat launches and people carrying kayaks across. So that one was put over by the north of the boat launch, and that's a $15,000 grant that we're trying for. This one is the third one. It's an EPF grant and I believe the map showed where the dog park was, basically in between the furthest point of the soccer field and the dog garbage dispenser for the dog waste. And the basketball ramada in between the bathroom and the basketball for players to be able to sit in the shade and also use the water fountain. I'm also in talks with one of our vendors that does vending machines for Gatorade and things like that, but that depends on what happens there. At the top, the World War I memorial was originally going to be moved on the hill where the 3 flagpoles would be on the sign, but when I went down and spoke to residents, they said that the neighborhood children use that hill to lay down in the wintertime. So we just decided to do the flagpoles and the sign so that they still have access to their neighborhood. And the gazebo replacement, self-explanatory, it's larger.
Right, it's needed. It's very needed.
Yeah. I mean,
It is.
I'm glad that the one is there, that's there, because when Channel 10 came down, there was a place for them. But it would be nice to have a bigger one.
It would.
Right.
That small one is utilized a lot.
Yeah, and it's falling apart a bit.
It's small.
So the first 2 grants are, we paid $20,000. Hopefully it's $500,000 in renovations, upgrades to Riverfront Park. This next one, with all the things we just mentioned, those 5 things, it's cost of $95,000. but we have to, if we get the grant, we have to come up with half, right? The 47.5. So that's the only issue with this one is if we go through this,
50%,
we have to come up with half the money, 47,000.
No, it's it's a 50% matching reimbursement. You would spend the 95,000 and then be reimbursed $47,515.
The first two grants, we just refresh me, because, you know, it's a few months back since we did this. Did we do resolutions on those other grants? Or were they full matching grants that we didn't have, or were they just grants that we were applying for and we get the money and we don't get the money?
Have they been awarded or they've just been applied
I
for?
mean, I don't remember doing any
So they haven't
resolutions
been awarded yet.
Right.
on any of those.
I feel like we did an Albany County
Parks and
grant resolution for Parks and Rec in the last 60 days. I don't know specifically, but
Yeah, that's-
But it hasn't been awarded.
No.
It's only been applied for.
Right.
Correct.
It's like any grant. You weren't nothing. We either get it or we don't.
I'm
But we had
recalling it.
laid out the $25,000 for BOCES. So, and our deadline was last month, so I worked very closely with Kim Rossman, gathering everything that she needed to complete the writing. So it was sort of a lot of work.
Yeah.
But we made it before the deadline, because we also have, obviously, the wastewater, the WIA grant simultaneously going along with it. It's a lot of grant work.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I'm really glad that we utilized BOCES and we went that avenue and we submitted that. I just want everyone to be clear that they have not been awarded, they've been submitted.
Right.
And
That's what we're trying to do too with the is it the WIA grant? It's just try to get the application. There are so many
Yeah, no, I-
CDBG.
CDBG thing.
WIA, I think, I forget exactly when that cycle is, but it does not have the same July 30.
I mean, as I'm remembering Scott Siegel, WIA is up to 20 million. Is that correct? Did we have that conversation in that last meeting?
I've never heard
It's
20.
WIA is a huge grant.
That sounds familiar, that they will award grants up to higher dollar amounts. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what LaBerge is recommending you apply for.
Right.
Was that a conversation between the supervisor, the town attorney, and LaBerge, or was that
And USDA, and we had.
or was that a conversation amongst the entire board? Because I don't recall.
We had to have a meeting with USDA because we needed to know if we could spend, or we could, use some of the USDA money for the lift stations. And we wanted to know what constituted an emergency, who determines that, and it turns out that the town does, and we could allocate some of that money if we have 10-week lead times for lift stations.
But again, that information was not presented to the board in any way, not by email, not by, any,
Oh, there's been dozens and
not
dozens.
about $20 million,
Dozens
potentially
of
$20 million.
emails. Yeah.
I mean, there hasn't. Does anybody on the board recall
Have
a
you been
20
getting
million?
emails? Because you respond to emails and I see.
I read all my
responses.
emails. Listen, I print all my emails. Look at this entire file that I have here.
Okay.
So, I mean, has the board seen an email or been invited or participated in conversations about potentially $20 million? Because this is the first time I'm hearing about
I
it.
don't want to over sort of state, I don't think LaBerge has ever indicated that they're recommending we apply or the town apply for a $20 million grant, or I think they're just in discussions where they have referenced other potential grant programs that are out there. They have described the parameters of those grant programs, and the one grant program, I don't remember the exact dollar amount, maybe it referenced 20.
The supervisor said 20 million. That's why I said it.
I could have heard that. There's been so many
Just that they're
acronyms
out
and numbers
there,
in the
grants
last
are
couple
out there.
months.
It's the same with
Regardless.
BOCES, it's the
Right.
same with Kim Rossman, there are Parks and Rec grants,
Yeah.
there are
Right. Sure.
literally hundreds and hundreds of different types of grants and thousands of different ways to try to acquire them.
So, I mean, again, this specific one that we're talking about through this resolution is a 50% matching grant for the project.
It is.
The estimated cost of the project is $95,000 and change, $95,030, with the town being on the hook for $47,515. When we have all sorts of other things, all sorts of other irons in the fire that we really have to.
Well, it was either that, and I brought this up at several different meetings, what do you wanna, because we had spent $20,000 on BOCES grant writing.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when I talked to BOCES, I said, we're probably not gonna go back into it because LaBerge has a grant writing process where when you need something in the grant, they just do it on demand basically, and you don't have a deadline. So it's a bit less stressful. As we were bumping up against this deadline, that's why my
Right.
questions of what do you
Right.
wanna say, what do you wanna
Right.
have grants for?
I have a
Where-
question.
No response was ever received.
Are we again, I'm looking at the next resolution. Is it your intent to proceed with this work regardless of whether or not we get the grant or not?
No.
Are we
Because the next-
obligated?
Because the next resolution says,
Now, if you're not awarded a grant, you're not contractually obligated in any way
But
to
if we
the
are
entity.
awarded, are we on the hook for $47,000?
If you take the funds.
If we take the funds, but if it's awarded, can we evaluate it then at that point in time?
If you
My
want to
bad.
reject the grant,
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you said we couldn't reject a grant, or we could reject a grant even if we were awarded $2 million.
That's different.
you could reject it.
Well, also too, I mean, in my mind is, 800,000 and now 47.5. My inclination is accept it, and hopefully, if we do go with the 3.366, and we have to pay 800,000, and we don't pay 800,000. Let's say the Birch gets enough money and more grants where we only pay 100,000, then we, by that time, hopefully revisit this,
Okay.
and if they give it to us and we say, yeah, well, we just pay 800,000, so 47.5 sounds pretty good to have all the work that was just mentioned. Or, flip side, we can't get any more money from LaBerge through all these other grants. We have to pay 800,000 if we decide to go along with it, and then at that time we say, I don't want to spend another 47,000. But I think in my opinion, right now, you say, go with it, and we already paid BOCES the money, let them do their work, and we could always deny it if we find ourselves in a financial pinch.
Also, there are extensions. After you talked to me at the last meeting about the DASNY sidewalk grant, I made contact with them to have a 60-day extension. Yes, we're still interested. Yes, we have the documents. Could you please send us any updates because it was a previous administration. So there's not much in the file, so she's sending that to us. You can file extensions if you want it, if you don't have the money. There are many different ways that you can deal with grants.
Steve, I saw you shake your head. What are you thinking?
I just had another question
Oh, okay.
with regards to the language. So, I mean, I don't want to I interrupt enough, so
No, that's all right.
I don't want to interrupt.
As long as, and again, as we go through this, I'm just thinking long-term, as long as, we're not on the hook right now, if the grant's approved, if we're at a good spot, we can take it and pay the 47.5 and get all those things that I think the community will benefit from. And if we're not in such a good financial spot, we could just say, thanks anyway, and we're gonna pass, but it doesn't hurt to accept it now.
Mike, you're gonna lay out the 90 first, and then you're gonna reimburse 50.
Right.
that's if we get the grant.
That's if we take.
That's if we get the grant,
that's if-
knowing that we're gonna get
That's
it
if we
back.
get it and we
Yeah.
accept it, right?
Right.
And you accept it, and they will present you with a contract, which really you can't negotiate,
Right.
but you'll have an opportunity to either
Reject it.
agree to the contract and enter into it or not.
So my last question, and it's for Rich, so 6 NYCRR 617.5C1 says maintenance or repair involving no substantial changes in an existing structure or facility. How is tearing down a 4,000 square foot, is that what it is?
Well, so you've got,
An 800 square foot gazebo, and building a new one, how is that not a substantial change?
so there's really two categories, right? One is maintenance or repair involving no substantial changes. The other is construction or expansion of a primary or accessory appurtenant structure or facility involving less than 4,000 square feet, not involving a change in the zoning.
So it's an or clause?
Yeah, correct, under either category.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
Nay.
We have to do now again?
So that was just the seeker, so then the next step would be, do you want to authorize the application.
Councilmember Holt telling offer the following resolution to move its adoption. Whereas the town of Queens, the town intends to complete the Queens Landing Riverfront Park Improvements Project, the project consisting of park enhancements, and whereas the scope of work includes the following: 40 by 20 gazebo to replace the existing aging gazebo, a dog park enclosed by a 450 chain link fence, 10 by 18 sports ramada near the existing basketball court, a new sign for the entrance of the park, and 3 flag poles for the American flag, POW, MIA flag, and New York State flag. And whereas the town board of the town Queens seeks to authorize the submission of a grant application by the Board of Cooperative Extension Services, BOCES, on behalf of the town for a 50% matching grant for the project. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town hereby authorizes BOCES to submit a grant application for a 50% matching grant for the project in the total amount of $95,030. The town being responsible for 1/2 of the total project costs, consisting of $47,515. And be it further resolved that the town is authorized and directed to agree to the terms and conditions of the grant, the contract, if it is awarded. And be it further resolved that the town is authorized and directed to agree to the terms and conditions of any required deed of easement granted to the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation that affects the title to real property owned by the municipality and improved by the grant funds, which may be duly recorded public access covenant, conservation easement, and/or preservation covenant. Be it further resolved that the town board of the town delegates signing authority to execute the contract and, I'm going to assume it's any amendments thereto, any required deed of easement and other certifications to the town supervisor.
I'll second for discussion. So just to be clear, again, it's $95,000, but if we don't get it, obviously we don't pay the $95,000. If we do get it, we have the option to always say thanks, but no thanks, and we still get the $95,000 back.
Yeah, I don't like the wording because it says, be it further resolved that the town is authorized and directed to agree to the terms and condition if it's awarded. It doesn't say we can refuse it.
But is that a caveat, Rich, of like just how grants work? Or should we amend it?
We can try and amend it. I guess I don't know for certain how they'll respond, if they'll deem it incomplete or not. But we can certainly do it.
So I have a question with regards to the required deed of easement granted to the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, OPRHP, that affects title to real property owned by the municipality. So we would essentially potentially be giving an easement.
Yeah, so this is it's a new program, but as I understand the program, they may require you to give them some right to guarantee essentially access to the public, right? I mean, the state of New York is out there investing in these park facilities, and they want to be able to ensure that they remain accessible and available to the general public.
How does the town board feel about that? I mean, are we in the business of just granting easements to?
The state of New York.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, it's just a question.
I'm completely comfortable with it. As a matter of fact, you contacted Kim Rossman today to have the language exact what we need in order to apply basically for this grant. This is the last piece of the application that we need.
We sent both these resolutions to BOCES to have them review and confirm that they were acceptable from their perspective.
And it's your understanding that if we're awarded the grant and if for some reason we are not in one of those fiscal, we'd rather spend upfront $90,000 because Keith needs UV lights.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend, the $100,000 that he has UV lights down there as opposed to somebody walking their park, because, I think people poop more important than dog poop right now. So,
I mean,
for lack of a better word.
SS is different from this.
So,
This would be from A fund, and his
So we're, that's your understanding that we don't have to take this if it's awarded.
It's my understanding, I mean, you're making a commitment to them that you wanna go forward with this.
I understand that.
And it's a good faith commitment, right? At the end of the day, if, a future town board, say, you can't really be bound by this town board, decides that they don't want to proceed and enter into a grant agreement. Just as a matter of law, we can't obligate a future town board, and so that town board would have the ability to say, no thanks, we'll not get the funds.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my understanding, I mean, I can sort of, we can dig in on that a little bit deeper tomorrow, but.
So, and per the supervisor's email to us, I mean, I think this is pretty standard, this is what happens. But I just wanted to bring to the attention, the town would be responsible for installation of all equipment. So there would be an expense, you know, in addition to, you know, either paying our individuals or doing something to install this stuff, so.
Yeah, be careful with that because that's not our expertise.
Right. So.
So all of a sudden, now we have to subcontract that out, and that's an additional expense that nobody's thought about.
In front of me, but my understanding is that, you know, the 97,000 was, or 95,000 was the proposed project or anticipated project cost, including
Installation.
the acquisition of the materials and the installation of them.
Well, that was 179,000, and I thought if 95,000 would go over this roughly, 179,000 would go over like a lead balloon.
So is that transparent, you holding back the $179,000?
No, that was a decision.
Okay, well, that's the first I've heard of
The
it.
kind of money that we have.
So are you saying that this 97,000 could be 197,000?
No.
Oh, then I
I'm
must have
saying-
misunderstood.
I'm saying that the money that this administration has earned from NICLAS could cover because it's a fund, but 179,000 would drain it because we have made over $220,000 through our investments. So that's the decision that we went with.
So when you initially got the price of this project, how much was it?
With installation, 179,000.
So what does $95,000 get us?
It's just the equipment.
No installation.
No installation.
Lumber.
Who installs it?
That would be whether we would hire somebody or if our department felt they could install chain link dog fence or not, or if you could hire local workers. I think that we all agree that creating jobs for local workers was high on our priority list. We had a very large conversation about that.
So when you sent this out to us, why wouldn't you tell us that the installation cost was 179, but you made the decision to say it's 95, but I want to do this because I want to do this?
Because 179 is more expensive than 95.
But that changes the conversation a little bit here, and probably should have known that on the last resolution. Thanks. Again, we got this, a couple days ago. Like I said, we're governing in 24 and 48-hour blocks here, so.
Well, as long as everybody had, to be honest, with me personally, as long as we have the ability to say thanks but no thanks, more or
We
less.
don't know if we have the ability to pay to do our, construction that we need to get done. We don't know if we have the ability to pay to fix Keith's stuff down there. We don't know if we have the ability to do anything right now. And you're holding back $100,000 that this is what we could install? Okay, vote. If you guys are comfortable with the way this business is going here, then vote.
Well, we have a motion and a second. You already know how I'm gonna vote, so.
Mr. Stott, to the extent you want clarification on your question, at least confirmation on it, we could have that by Tuesday.
Yeah, we
don't
could,
have it tonight.
so we could do it by Tuesday when we do the other one, and, that'd be a big deciding factor, and make me feel more comfortable. Yeah.
So one thing I'll just add is you gotta be careful with talking about the highway, doing installations, because number one, they're not qualified. Insurance reasons, if somebody ever gets hurt, the town's on the hook. So you really gotta look at that from a different point of view, You really want whoever, we did at Drawelman, we bought the new playground, they installed it, the company that sold it. Cause they hold the insurance, they're the professionals, they guarantee it, not the highway guys.
Well, once again, so we can hire local people to do it, and
You can.
that's just one point. The other point about these grants is, this board has been informed multiple times that BOCES contract ended in June of this year.
Yeah.
And this board has been asked multiple times, what kind of grants do you wanna do? What kind of money do you want to spend? No one has responded to those questions.
Your statement has
And that
nothing to do
information-
with the lack of information that surrounds this
Since we
resolution.
hired BOCES.
Okay.
Not one email, not one phone call, not one visit to the office.
We
Again,
agreed to hire both
So
these.
so to now say that you're upset,
I'm not upset with the fact that
No.
we use BOCES. I'm upset with the fact that this project does not include installation, and it does not include the fact that you know that it was going to be $170,000, and that included the installation, but you present this, leaving that part out of it, and then say, well, then it's gonna cost us all, this doesn't include that. That's what I'm upset with. I'm not upset with the fact of the other stuff, I'm upset with that. That wasn't disclosed, just like the $1.3 million wasn't disclosed. There's a lot of things that we're not getting told until 24, 48 hours before this meeting. That's what I'm upset about. That's what I'm upset about. We can't continue as a 5-person board to get information 1 to 2 days ahead of time and expect to have a reasonable, rational discussion here to make these decisions without, and just going with what you say here. And then as we have discussion, this is gonna cost more. And we don't know about this. We've asked to have workshops, we've asked to have this, and that stopped all of a sudden. We don't have workshops, we don't do this. That's why I'm upset.
the supervisor's office door is always open, and when I send out emails, they're always forwarded to board members. FYI, there are hundreds of them. Please start responding. You don't have to wait until meeting day. Weeks and weeks go by. 2 more weeks, we'll have another meeting. We're gonna have a special meeting.
Yeah, we
Reach
will.
out and have a conversation through email, telephone, come right into the office.
Listen,
Mike
I
comes in all the time.
Listen, I can
He
assure
has
you, I bet you
questions.
we don't get all the emails.
I can see that you're reading them.
And I'm just
I
gonna-
can see that
I'm just
you're
gonna
reading
say,
them.
I
If you
also have a full-time
question,
job,
Then why are you on the board if you have a full-time job?
because I do a darn good job on the board, clearly.
Well, that's up for debate.
Is it?
So,
It is.
so regardless, I'll just say this, $179,000, that number is thrown at you at some point. Where does that come from, right? I mean, that could be whoever BOCES gets their information from. That could be a government agency saying, if you hire, estimated around the country, this much labor costs this much. And, so where does that number come from? So is it a legitimate number? I don't know if that's a legitimate labor number, but like you said, if we decide to take this grant, we always could hire somebody local.
Right, because some of these estimates
And get an estimate and then say, hey, if it's too much, if it costs $100,000 more, then you say, sorry, it's more than we thought, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna take the grant, we're not gonna do it. But until that point,
Right.
Right now, we can table this until Tuesday, until Rich can get back to us about the acceptance of the grant, but this does nothing to hurt us by tabling it. And then if it is something that we could postpone or get out of later on, and we realize the labor cost is too high, realize maybe we don't have the funds, the $47,000 that we want to spend after it's reimbursed, then we just don't do it. But, I mean, to sit up here and, we'll just table it. We'll just table it and get more information and then come back on Tuesday and vote on it. That's my opinion.
Sounds good.
I mean, I'll say it again, if I didn't bring up the fact that language was in the email, which shows that I read the email and bring it to the board's attention, would this discussion have come up? But anyway, that's all I have for discussion.
So we're gonna.
There's a motion and a second.
I motion to table this until our next meeting, which is likely on Tuesday. I think we agree.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Deputy.
You're welcome. Is that it for resolutions or no?
No.
Oh, no, we gotta keep going, sorry.
We have a
All right,
We got a lot
I
here.
think I'm next. This one's done. I got a short one to go. I, Councilmember Stott, offering the following resolution and move to adoption, whereas the town of Queens is desirous of hiring a part-time floater clerk to assist in various town departments as needed, and whereas the part-time floater clerk is expected to be utilized for a maximum of 17 and a half hours per week, resulting in a maximum annual cost of approximately $17,472. And whereas there is sufficient funds in budget line A 1220.1 to cover the wages of the part-time floater clerk. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Queens does hereby appoint who? Is it Wendy Maddock?
Wendy Maddox, yeah.
Wendy Maddock to the position of part-time floater clerk at a rate of $19.20 per hour on an as-needed basis effective immediately.
Second discussion.
So my first question is, when was Wendy Maddock discussed? Because this is the first I'm hearing about it. And in fact, I got a resolution with a blank name on it. And my second question is, what types of duties is she gonna do? Is she gonna be strictly in the supervisor's office? Is she gonna be?
Yeah, so we have two floaters right now, Candace's mom and Nancy Graves. Nancy Graves is not coming up anymore from Florida, so we need to have somebody just available. There's been a lot, especially this summer, people that are going on vacation. We don't have somebody that we can readily call and go, can you work part-time today? So we reached out to Wendy and she's willing to do that.
Is it possible for Wendy, it doesn't say specifically supervisor office, is it possible, Wendy could help out with maybe clerical stuff for Keith if he needs it, if you are caught up?
I mean, that's what a floater is, but
So-
I mean, like Nancy was, and actually I do think Nancy did work down at the clerk's office a couple of times, yeah.
I had Nancy, had, another woman. Mrs. Stewart. Yes. I've had two people.
So is that the consensus then, is that she would go? To
They-
wherever
they
is
go where
needed.
they're needed. That's what a floater does.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned Nancy Graves and Candace's mom. I don't recall ever approving those individuals this year as a floater. We've used them in the past, but as of right now, we don't have them approved as a floater.
I don't know if you have to do that annually. Candace's mom's been on for ages, hasn't she?
Okay. I didn't know if there was expiration dates on those resolutions.
No, I asked a payroll about it and I said, do we have to have a resolution for Nancy Graves? And she said, no, I can just take her off the payroll.
And when was Wendy Maddock consulted about the part-time floater position?
I had a couple of different meetings with her. We finally nailed it down. Our last meeting was beginning of this week or the end of last week.
So again, that wasn't provided to the board, but okay.
I mean, did you know about Candace's mom and Nancy Graves?
I knew about them, but not about them being approved by the board this year.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion?
Just in terms of, or just to point it out, I suppose, I mean, the budget line that is referenced, as I understand it, is the supervisor's personnel budget line, right? So as long
Right.
as everybody's comfortable with that, it sounds like this individual could be used in other ways, but that's the budget line that's specified.
And how come that's not in the resolution?
It is 8/12/20.
1220.1.
Third whereas.
Oh, I apologize. Correct.
Just for point of reference, it's Kate Burgess, not Candace's mom.
Kate Burgess, okay.
You have ample money in your supervisor's budget to cover the 17,000 if that's what it ended up being.
It's always been there for two floaters. There's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All by Supervisor Donnelly, offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas the town board of the town of Queens previously passed resolution 085-25 to accept Mangino Chevrolet's bid for a 2025 4x4 pickup truck with a Fisher 96X V2 plow, and further authorize the purchase and payment of said equipment in the amount of $59,754.93. And whereas the chief fiscal officer of the town of Queens has determined that in order to maintain proper fund balances within various accounts, an amendment of the 2025 budget is necessary. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Queens does hereby authorize Supervisor Stephen Donnelly to amend the 2025 budget as depicted below for the budget year 2025. Highway Fund DA increase appropriations, DB 5130.2, capital outlay and equipment, $59,754.43. Increase appropriated fund balance, DB 0599 fund balance, $59,754.43.
I'll second it for discussion. And just for discussion, Highway Fund DA, shouldn't it be Highway Fund DB?
No, the DA fund balance is around 48,000, and DB has much more in it. I think it's got
So we're taking the money from DB fund balance.
$573,445.08. That's where the 60K is going to come from.
Okay.
DA couldn't handle it.
And we had $0 budgeted for DB 5130.2 for 2025. So, I mean, just for notation purposes.
Yeah, this. No,
No, I know.
So the board, when we started this process, we reached out to Regina and Sarah, presented all these numbers from fund reserve. Sarah said, absolutely, go ahead, and that's when I presented that information to you guys.
I just don't understand the language, and I've had this issue before, and it's always deemed appropriate, but it's just weird that it's saying we're increasing appropriated fund balance by $59,754.43, and we're increasing appropriations to DB 5130.2 capital outlay and equipment by the same amount. I don't understand how we can be increasing fund balance and increasing.
You're increasing the appropriated amount coming out of fund balance.
Right, but we're not, this says we're increasing fund balance.
It says
Well,
appropriate.
Appropriated fund balance.
Appropriated.
You're increasing the amount of fund balance being spent.
Okay, thank you.
I agree, the wording is.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
Every time we have these, and the next one I'll probably say the same thing, except for now I know.
It's a term of art, so I mean, it's appropriations is sort of the language they speak in, but yeah. It's strange.
And the other thing, supervisors, I indicated to Regina, we don't know when it's coming, so I'm not sure why she's doing it now, but it may be September, October, if that means anything.
Well, don't spend the money.
Well, no, I'm just saying, she asked me and I said, it's not coming for a while. So I think it's early, but.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. I, Councilmember Schmidt, offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas the Chief Fiscal Officer of the Town of Queens has determined that in order to maintain proper balances within various accounts, an interfund transfer is necessary. And whereas in order to allocate proper funds for G&G Municipal Consulting and Grant Writing to perform an income survey related to the wastewater improvement project, as authorized by Resolution Number 046-25, the Chief Fiscal Officer has recommended that $9,140.04 needs to be transferred from budget line A 1990.4 contingency to A 8668.4 grant writing. And now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Queens does hereby authorize Supervisor Stephen Donnelly to transfer the funds as depicted below for the budget year 2025. General Fund A, amount $9,140.04 from A 1990.4 contingency to account A 8668.4 grant writing.
For discussion, so income service, is there any, I know we did that and I think all of us got the statement, or most of us got the statement from the income survey at our homes. I think Barb she made $1 million. Is there any more information on that? You know, did they get the information they needed, or do they have to send more stuff out? Have you any
They did.
contact with G&G?
Yeah, they did. I talked with Jay this morning. They're finished. And that this report could be used for many different grants for our departments, housing grants.
So he
things
thinks,
like that.
so they got the information where it's gonna help us in the future, like they got the
Yeah,
necessary
it
information?
is.
Okay,
It will.
because I wasn't sure if they got enough feedback to gain enough knowledge to get
They
that
did.
data to help us.
They
Okay.
did, yeah.
Do we have an idea of when we will see a copy of the report?
Yeah, he should be sending it to me tomorrow,
And then you'll in turn flip it to us?
just like I do with everything. Any further discussion? All in favor?
I, Councilmember Ravena, offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas resolution number 106-24 was passed at a regular town board meeting on August 29th, 2024, authorizing the town of Queens and the Alcove Preservation Association to apply for grant funding from the Albany County Municipal Parks Improvement Grant. And whereas the town of Queens and the Alcove Preservation Association were recently awarded a grant for the amount of $14,910.19 for the purpose of rebuilding the chimney capitol at the Valley Paper Mill Town Park. And whereas the chief fiscal officer of the town of Queens has determined that in order to maintain proper accounting of the grant funds, an amendment must be made to the 2025 budget. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Queens does hereby authorize Supervisor Stephen Donnelly to make the following amendments to the 2025 budget. General Fund A, increase revenues, A, 2350, Youth Recreation Services - Other Governments, $14,910.19. Increase appropriations, A, 7989-4, Other Culture and Rec, $14,910.19.
Second.
And for discussion, this is just pretty much like dispersing the remainder of the grant money to the Alcove Preservation?
This is balancing the budget.
Oh.
And this is Sarah, increasing the revenue from youth recreation service and other governments by that amount, and also by the appropriations.
Is that 14,910.19, is that what the town of Queens was awarded?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we were awarded the money on behalf of the Alcove Preservation Association?
Yeah, we're waiting for the pallets. And it's like there's going to be $200 coming back. That's why, well, 190 around there.
You've essentially received revenues that you hadn't anticipated when you adopted the budget last year, and so you're increasing that revenue line in your budget to reflect those additional revenues.
So I just had a question, I guess maybe that might have answered my question. Was A 2350, Youth Recreation Services, Other Government, it's a general A estimated revenue line, and the item has a blank box for the 2025 adopted budget.
Yeah, it's empty. That's
Okay, and that's because we didn't know that the grant, we would be awarded a grant for that kind of money.
It's essentially the discretion of the accountant. That's where she decided to put it, that it would make sense in order to keep it balanced.
Okay.
No further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
I, Councilmember Hoteling, offer the following resolution, move its adoption. Whereas the town board of the town of Queens previously passed resolution number 07825 to authorize the recycle day held on June 14th, 2025, and to improve the payment of transfer and tipping fees from budgeted funds. And whereas the chief fiscal officer of the town of Queens has determined that in order to maintain proper balances within various accounts, an amendment to the 2025 budget is necessary. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Queens does hereby authorize Supervisor Stephen Donnelly to amend the 2025 budget as depicted below for budget year 2025. A 8160.4, increase appropriations from A 8160.04, refuse and garbage contractual, $2,419.26, and increase appropriated fund balance, A 0599 fund balance, same amount, $2,419.26.
I second that.
discussion?
So for discussion, just for notation purposes, the A8160.4, the line item had $10,000 budgeted for 2025. And it was my understanding that we were going to transfer money earned from NICLAS to this account for the entire cost of Recycle Day. And by reviewing the vouchers this month, I saw that a bill from Robert Wright had come in and a bill had come in from Theo Carding, which was more than $2,419.26. So I don't understand this transfer.
This is my understanding from Regina that this is being transferred so that the board has decided that it wasn't going to be taxpayer money, but earned interest money.
Right,
So
but
this is the amount that she has on this resolution.
well, the vouchers indicate that we spent more than $2,419.26.
Okay, yeah, reach out to her tomorrow and ask her. Or I can send you an email.
Again, so before we proceed, is the intention and the agreement by the board that we will then make another transfer? Because I
If there
think-
is such a discrepancy, then yeah, we would have to do
Well,
that.
there is. I mean, you signed the vouchers as the authorizing official.
Right, so
So
this,
you
if
know-
this is what you're saying, then
You
we'll
know
have
that
to
the
check
money is
it.
more than $2,419.26, yet we're submitting a resolution with a number that doesn't reflect the agreement that we had as a board.
Well, then we'll have to look at that. If you don't wanna do it, we can table it for Tuesday.
So Steve, why don't we pay it out of refuse?
We will, but my thought is that refuse account comes out of A, which is a tax, a portion of that is taxpayer funded. So I had just presented to the board that whatever money we spend, we'll just put back from NICLAS. And it was agreed to that that's what we would do. Then we still have that money. So if we spent $9,000 and then I don't have the math in front of me, but it was more than $2,419.26. So I just have an issue because we as a board, even to the public, said that we would transfer the money from NICLAS. So I want to make sure that, if we go forward with this resolution for 24-19-26, we are going to then present another resolution to cover the pricing discrepancy.
Right, so if there's an issue with it, we can table it and do it at the special meeting Tuesday.
There's probably a problem with is there enough money in NICLAS for that fund to put back in there?
Well, because
There's
it's
been 10,000 in there all year.
It's a fund, so-
Because it's A, we can, we're allowed to use NICLAS in any of that
Why
fund.
would you had to go?
No, because we didn't take any money from that line item to send to NICLAS, I don't think.
Well, it's really, it's by fund, right? So
Right.
it's your A fund. has
So
to stay
anything
within
in
the
A can go
fund.
anywhere in
B
A?
fund has to stay within the B fund.
So do we want to proceed? I mean, I'm okay with proceeding, provided that there's a discussion in that we are going to then,
I'm okay with proceeding, and then
Do you know how
maybe,
much it was, the two checks? May I send it back?
Would you like me to go look?
No.
no.
we can go, I mean.
But I think we can just have Regina email us tomorrow and just say, this is how much we decided on, this is how much we're gonna take from NICLAS A and put it back into this fund. I mean, I'm okay with going forward and just getting an explanation of what's gonna go on.
As long as it's,
I don't understand the discrepancy. I mean,
The bills
come in, we know what they are, the resolution was drafted yesterday, or it was at least provided to us yesterday, but yet the number's wrong.
Well, then we'll table and have a discussion. That's what discussion purpose is for.
and
Or it could be correct and you're incorrect, and then we could figure it out tomorrow. And if you're correct, then we can have a resolution at the special meeting that appropriates.
I mean, I can go grab it if you want. Want me to go grab it?
I feel like you wanna go grab it.
I don't have to.
I don't either, I mean, whether you grab it or not, if it's incorrect, we have to fix it anyway, so.
I mean, you all reviewed the voucher.
Yeah,
Do you think the $2,419.26 is the right number, based upon our discussion and our agreement?
I reviewed $500,000 worth of, more than $500,000.
I know.
Two vouchers I can't pick off the top of my head.
So yeah, let's table it and we'll have
Let's
Regina
table it, that's
here,
fine.
because she's the one to ask us.
So we have to make a motion to withdraw the resolution.
We got a few.
I don't know that you have to be that technical, but you certainly, the consensus is you can table that resolution.
Okay. I make a motion to table this resolution until further clarification and to readdress it in the future. hopefully at our next board meeting on Tuesday.
I can pay the bill, cause I
That's
essentially
been
own,
approved, well, that's.
I
that's
own that
approved.
line item.
Yeah.
If I get it, I'll pay it, whatever, so you can, I was kinda waiting to see what it was gonna come up with.
Okay.
Do we have a second for Mr. South's motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Schmidt, for the next one, didn't we pull one and have different numbers? I think you were down.
Yeah, so there's a couple of issues with the next one, but if you want me to tell you now, or if you want me to interject, after you.
I'll just say it and then you interject. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I, Councilmember Stout, offering the following resolution to move its adoption. Be it resolved that the town board approve the payment of bills as presented in the abstract for July 2025 as follows. Prepaid vouchers 25001089 to 25001098 and 25001100 to 25001151 from the following funds. General, $166,893.28. Part-Town, $23,416.08. Highway Part-Town, DB, $272,541.81. Sewer, $25,527.36. And Trust and Agency, $51,256.36. Voucher numbers 25001152 to 25001225 from the following funds. General, $39,103.48. Part-Town, $10,708.05. Highway DA, $21,666.63. Highway Part-Town DB, $6,563.52. Sewer Fund, $44,737.27, and TA Fund, $0. Total for all funds was $662,413.84.
Second discussion?
So for discussion, prepaid voucher number 25001123 in the amount of $526.56 was not approved by the town board. There were not 3 town board members that initialed and approved it. However, it was a prepay, so the check has already gone out. There were some issues with the invoices that were attached.
Can we see that?
Sure. You want me to grab the other 2 while I'm in there?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that 2 water bottle day?
I guess.
How you holding up over there? How you doing?
Don't ask.
You said 6 o'clock Tuesday.
I just want to ask a question. You mentioned something about Ms. Rock. He's okay. I mean, Mary Ann's coming out.
I haven't even called the mayor yet because it's been such an insane week, but I was driving back to work from lunch when, I stopped and I saw Sandy and the Queens Police and I asked what happened and they told me. So,
But he's okay though.
yeah. They said he was conscious when he was in the ambulance and it was they didn't, it wasn't like an emergency.
Okay.
I mean, it was.
And then, yeah.
Remedies and a head injury. Is
So
this the one you're
that's
talking about?
That's the prepaid that I just mentioned. I'd have to go through these to pull out the other 2, so I just figured it might be best if we just.
Okay, so the issue with this is this 5206. So
What's 5206?
it's this toner. I think it's the 2299 and the 2907 are added together to come up to 5206. That's why you don't see them here, because the inventory number is the same and the computer puts them together. That's why you don't see it on this list, but it exists because it's here on the purchase order, which is what you guys should really be signing, because this is everything broken down. See how there's no 56 on here, and these two added together. So that's the issue with that one.
That makes sense. So the computer just combines them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody want to sign this? What about the other ones?
The other issue that I had was the voucher to pay the village $7,000 for the pool. Did the village pay us for their share of the youth employment, per the intermunicipal agreement?
We still have the $7,000 check, so they haven't crossed paths yet.
Okay, but, I mean, there's an expectation that they're going to.
Everyone's aware, yeah.
We're contractually obligated.
Right, yeah, no, I know that.
Was there any other vouchers? We cleared that up?
Again, there's the two that we tabled. I'm not gonna waste anybody else, more time unless you want me to. If you insist, then I will, but
No,
We've already
are they done? Is it?
No, you mean
I don't-
the dumpster ones? Is that what you're talking
yeah,
about?
that's,
Yeah, I said we just figure that out. Talk to
Oh,
Regina
yeah.
tomorrow, figure that out.
but the other issue I have is, to my knowledge, there's not three,
The refuse?
You want
there's not three signatures on all of the,
Vouchers yet.
so therefore I'm not inclined to approve this resolution based upon that
There's
fact.
still a bunch of sideways one in there with only 2 signatures on it, so.
I thought I went through most of them.
Yeah, we have to go through those if they're not signed.
I think most of them were. Either I
I
signed.
know, Ms. Bruno, you didn't sign any tonight.
I signed today.
Tonight?
Today.
No, I mean
didn't sign
tonight.
any
Yeah, there's
more.
some in there, there's a
So there were
bunch.
some that didn't have three signatures because.
Yeah,
So you're gonna go through all the files and find them.
I mean, if somebody else wants to, I've already been through them twice.
yeah.
I think I've done my due diligence. Does somebody else wanna?
What are the issues?
It's just all
pull them
three
out.
signatures?
That one?
Is this the one that we just did?
It looks like it only has 2 signatures.
There's 1, 2, and I don't know what that is. Is that your signature?
Yes.
That's my initial.
Or initial?
On the other ones.
Just,
The
oh,
ones-
there's more.
So those.
I have to look, but
I don't know, they're still sideways. So this has 3. This has 3.
There's a handful in the red, I think.
Is it the red?
Yeah.
If somebody else wants to take the red and go through.
Sure, yeah, we will. I'll do it.
how much was that?
So.
You're looking for ones that are sideways that don't have 3 signatures. And you remember, you have to flip through all the pages because sometimes,
They're turned around.
well, no, not that they're turned around, but that in the middle, there might be another.
Signature page. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Just look at the 3 signatures.
Yeah, you want to make sure that there's 3.
You can help me, I can help.
So for instance, this one has 4, this one has 3, this one only has 2. This one only has 2. Yep. You and Miss Bruno.
The inside page with the 2 of those. These are all inside pages.
Here's another one.
For me?
You and Miss Bruno.
I blame Keith. Keith stopped by. I was talking to Keith for a little bit.
Yes, I did. I was there.
Oh, wait, this might be more. Because this was all,
That was the wrong one.
that one has 3.
So what's the issue with not just signing the purchase order on the cover that has all, the price is broken down? And...
This is what I have always initialed in the almost 4 years that I've been on this board.
Right, no, but when there's a bunch and there's just this purchase order that has everything broken down?
If it's only the purchase order, we sign it, but if it has the other cover sheet,
You like to do all that?
that's how I was trained, I guess.
Yeah. And that's the proper way as far as I know, but.
But there are inside sheets too.
Yeah, you have to go through each.
Right.
So that one has enough.
So are all 5 board members?
You only need three.
You need three.
You only need three.
There's
All
three.
4 should be auditing.
Yeah, there's 3 on these. What I sent.
All 5 should be signing.
Yeah,
They're
really,
not.
Yeah, well,
you think.
no, the supervisor, and to my knowledge, in my experience, has
Four
never,
board members. 4 board, right?
the supervisor has, this
Feel
year.
free, here, guys, there's all kinds of boards here, so. I don't wanna be here all night, neither do you. You want some on?
I went through those red ones earlier, but I'll have to look at them again.
Sure. Stephen?
Yeah.
Pass those down, please.
Yeah, I think all the ones that were sideways, I left.
Linda.
I mean, that's got to be, I don't know why it's still sideways.
Linda?
Yes, sir.
That should be it for this one.
No, these are all separated by fund, so don't get them all.
Correct,
No,
yeah,
no, no.
that's why.
All right.
Well,
All right, so these vouchers, not the prepays, are all done.
no one needs Linda.
Linda. All set.
That one needs Linda. There. Check those.
Steve, you're not on.
Because they're rubber stamped.
No, you.
I know, because they're
You're not.
rubber stamped, I'm not gonna approve something that's rubber stamped.
Okay, so you're not gonna sign. Okay, fine.
I mean, clearly there's issues with vouchers and money and. Mr. Riley, not to make you feel a certain way or anything, but I'll just bring it up. On your invoice for the sewer, the wastewater improvement grant, you had a charge on there for photocopies for $31, but it's not broken down. It doesn't say how many pages.
We can confirm that those would have been for the RFP and RFQ mailing, I assume, but we could confirm.
Thank you. And just in the future, just
Thank you.
break it down.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, here's these.
Are you serving breakfast?
We thought you brought something.
This is, so it's the inside page.
Yeah. All right, that should be it.
I haven't,
The one you just signed, I'll take that.
This
I
is
just don't know if the banner.
still sticking.
August.
I think they're
They
good.
don't have Steve's signature.
But as long as there's 3 of them,
There are, there's 3 of us on.
that's fine, that's
Well, a
all.
couple of those that were sideways, there's some other ones underneath them, so those are ones you gotta look inside of.
Yeah, you gotta go through each piece of
Right,
paper.
right.
Those are all.
I've been waiting to see.
Okay, so these are done then.
And while we're on the topic, a couple of questions I have, and I'm sorry, the chief's gone, but Sergeant Arnold was signing as the authorized
He was on vacation.
official,
He was on vacation. I told you that.
but is she an authorized
She
signatory?
is allowed to do that.
Yes. You know that?
I asked that question today. If he was on vacation, she's allowed to sign the voucher.
Okay.
That's what I was told. That didn't come from the chief, but I was told that that was okay.
Okay.
So you could
Just
have-
going forward,
yeah,
that's,
you
you
could
know.
have Ken. Okay, that's it. 3, right?
So then we'll have to amend our motion for that prepaid voucher number because now there's 3 signatures. Or amend our resolution or disregard my comment or whatever we have to say.
I make a motion to disregards.
Only
Mr.
pertaining to that.
Mr. Smith's comments only pertaining to the prepaid vouchers on this resolution.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Upcoming meetings, August 11th and 27th, PBZBA at 7 o'clock. And our next one, we have a special meeting on Tuesday. What's the date on Tuesday?
July 29.
29. Okay. 29 July. And then we have another one on the 14th of August at 6 p.m. Public comment time. Step up to the lectern.
Get up.
You better take your time.
It's going to be short and sweet. Taking the old gazebo down and putting a new one up?
It's just a grant that we applied for because we spent over $20,000 for BOCES grant writing. So we wanted to try to get what kind of money we could out of it.
No, but I'm asking, you're taking the old gazebo down,
We're not doing anything unless we.
if we get the grant.
Possibly, but I think another discussion will come up at that point, but yeah.
As it stands right now,
We
yes.
should have to take the old gazebo down.
Barbara,
Why?
it needs repair work, I don't know.
Pardon me?
It needs repairs.
I was told by code
Sure.
enforcement that it was involved in a flood back in, was that Irene? It was in-
Yeah.
So it has a bit of structural issues and it's rotting and there's,
Do we need a dog park?
I would love a dog park at
You've got
Riverfront.
land, let your dog roam on your land.
Right,
There's problems in dog parks,
right,
you know?
yeah.
Do we need this other stuff? I like the flagpole, I think that's a great idea. We don't have, you know, I'm sitting here as a taxpayer and a resident and I'm going, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. All I hear is money going out, where's the money coming in?
The investments that we made by contributing to NICLAS, this administration has already gained over $220,000. So every year, our budget will increase if things stay the same. Right now,
I don't wanna say the budget.
Treasury bonds are getting a little wonky. It's 4.1% has dropped from 5.2 since we started this in September. But optimistically, you could say that our budget will increase $1 million, or our fund balance will increase $1 million every 4 years. So instead of operating in the 6 million that we had, well, actually we operate in 3 million, but we have a lot in fund balance. It will just continue to increase. And you want to build the town, especially parks and recreation. I think the vision for Queens is to be a tourist town. So to attract tourism, because we're right on the Hudson River, which is nationally known as one of the greatest rivers in the country. This is an unbelievable resource. So you want to build up your parks and recreations, not just for our residents who enjoy it. Like I say, I go down myself all the time, and I see a lot of people with their dogs, and they love dog parks because they can't let their dogs off the leash. And, you know, you would want that for a lot of people have dogs. A lot of people love dogs, and they walk
I
their
just
dogs.
think there's
Yeah,
certain
it's a
things
dog park.
right now you should spend money on, but there's certain things you say, well, we'll do it next year.
Right, we're not
You know,
spending
like
money.
$90,000.
It's just
Yeah, we
an
can say, oh, we
application.
don't want your grant, but these aren't essential things that we need right now.
Well, we had spent $20,000 for BOCES, and while we were under contract, we wanted to get the most bang for our buck. So we did as many grants as we could.
You
So
don't
that
know
turned out to
that.
be 3.
You don't know that,
Don't know what.
and that you're gonna get the grants.
Right, but we laid out the $20,000 for BOCES.
Yeah.
That's why I'm proposing that we not use them in the future so that we can just pinpoint the
But
grants
how-
that we want.
What
It was
is,
the board's recommendation
their
to
name?
use BOCES.
what are they gonna charge us for grant writing?
I'm sorry.
What is LaBerge, is it?
Yes.
What are they gonna charge us for grant writing?
They'll give you a
Yeah, they'll give us a
Proposal.
proposal.
depending on the grant that they're applying for.
Yeah, so it could
Park
be
grant might
more
be
than
X.
$20,000 a year.
It could be less, I mean, depending on the grant,
Could be
right?
less, could be more. You don't know
I
that.
understand that grants are confusing. We've been working with them for the last 18 months, so we've come way up to speed with them. But I understand for the first time when you hear and you see these things and you hear dollar amounts, it's frightening and scary and you think it's a lot of taxpayer money. But it's just applications at this point, and we've already paid BOCES. So we're gonna use the service, you know.
Okay, I just think.
And the contract is up, so that was the
We don't need
last
this year.
one.
The other thing, I think a workshop is in order.
Yeah, love workshops.
I really do.
Absolutely.
I think you should have a workshop because you could hash this out at a workshop, not at a town board meeting. The vouchers, apparently, doesn't somebody check these signatures?
I do.
You check all of them?
I check every single one.
But why were there problems tonight?
because that's how they're presented to us. And so it's my job, it's our job to audit them with a fine tooth comb.
Not just you, it's your whole board.
It's all
Correct.
of us, right?
But what happens, Barb, is, we get the board gets the vouchers from the town clerks essentially on Monday or Tuesday.
Right.
And then we have that time until our next board meeting, which is Thursday at 6 p.m. to come down here, look through all the vouchers, make sure what we're reading is okay with us. And if it's okay, we sign off on it. And it's already been signed off by the business department, the supervisor, the town clerks. So we're like the last eyes, but we need 3 signatures. So as you have essentially four people
Right.
looking at these vouchers, sometimes we look at these and some people have questions. Now, the only issue we have is when depending on your schedules, right? We all work and have families. Depending on your schedules, sometimes you don't get in here till 3 p.m. on a Thursday, and then by the time 5:30 comes, you're getting ready for the meeting, and we have 4, 5, 6 vouchers that we have questions on. And sometimes Regina Bryant, the business officer, is here, and she can explain it, and sometimes she's not. So we have questions, and we try to solve those as soon as we can before the meeting. But tonight was an example where we had a few where there was questions. We had to ask the supervisor for some clarification, and we got that, but we just didn't have all 3 signatures or 4 signatures because of that.
But when they get paid.
Yeah.
All right, doesn't someone sit down and write a check out for that voucher, right? Shouldn't they be checking the voucher to see if there's enough signatures?
That's after this process, Barb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This process is
Except for the prepays.
For the prepay.
prepays, right, but the checks don't get written until after all these guys sign them.
Right,
These guys don't write checks.
but when they're writing the check, they've got to see the voucher to know how much to write the check
I don't know
for.
that they,
No,
they look at the
Okay.
abstract at that point.
yeah, they look at the abstracts. So what happens is Regina handles the prepays. I handle the rest of the abstract. I have a program that I put everything into. Now, I've put all those abstracts in. Now Regina tomorrow will come in, she will open up the program, she will see the file that I have, and she will just print, and then that will print out all the checks.
Oh, okay.
If they're holding anything, then I have to, first thing in the morning, run in and put a hold on them so that she doesn't print those out.
Okay,
And
Sounds good.
Barb, I would say more often than not, what happens is, when you're a town board member and you're just looking at these things for, dollars for these items, there's just questions that, especially if you get here on a Thursday, you have questions that nobody's here to really answer them. So we have to wait until right before the meeting to try to get those answers. And sometimes it just,
we're all getting older.
you're right, that's the truth. We just run out of time, that's all.
Sidewalk, maybe Dan could help me on this. A friend of mine has a motorized wheelchair. She was going down the sidewalk on Main Street by the viaduct. The sidewalk was bad, she tipped over in the hospital. She was telling me that today, from Main Street to Westerlo Street to Civic Center, the sidewalks are very bad. And then she's afraid that she's gonna tip over there. So what can we do about it, or what
The
should she?
village of Ravena has to maintain them, even though it's a state road.
That's a town.
No, it's not.
The
It's
village.
The village is got the sidewalks there.
Yeah.
Westerlo Street?
You said from the
From Main
Viaduct?
Street, no, Main Street to the Civic Center.
Main Street in Queens?
Number 1 Main Street, by the firehouse.
Oh,
From there to the
Oh.
Civic Center.
oh yeah, those are ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a contractor lined up to do some work this year. If you notice, we painted some of them, because some of them are
Yeah,
wonky.
right,
So we just haven't got to it yet, but I have a plan to replace some of them.
okay. If you could just look into that, because, she
They-
did get hurt.
They're rough, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
There's some
Yeah,
rough
but it's
ones.
also dangerous with her riding in the road in her wheelchair.
Well,
That, I mean,
It's
she should be on the
that-
sidewalk,
it-
but she has no
yeah,
flag on it, she could get hit. So
I understand that.
it's
I
easier for her
understand.
to be on the sidewalk, safer. Because I've
Well,
asked
not
her
if they're
several
bumpy,
times,
not if she's gonna tip over.
well,
They're
but
rough.
she should be on the
They're
road.
rough.
on motorized
Westerlo
vehicle.
Street.
I will agree. I walk down to the river and like the other day, I walked down and I twisted my ankle a little. So,
And they're uneven, there's some uneven ones.
yeah, you're like.
It's a constant battle.
the long-awaited culvert is installed, and I came tonight to say thank you to Dan and his
Oh,
crew.
great.
To also acknowledge the board members, because you did spend so much time with me and probably put up with a few emails and some of my very poor videos, but I wanted to say thank you to everyone for taking the time and for getting things in. Now we just need a little rain dance to get some rain to test it out. But not only did they put the culvert in, but they also repaired the shoulder where there had been a couple of accidents and people got hurt pretty good. So we're hoping they still slow down going around that curve, but that if they don't, they won't land in my driveway. So thank you very much. One other quick thing, when you get all done with all the other stuff, I did spend some time both with State Telephone and Mid-Hudson, and there definitely are no plans for some areas in the town to have high-speed internet. It might be good just to have them come and talk about what and where they're covering and where they're not covering. So for Stanton Road, the lower end, it connects in Alco, for example. They have no intention of running any high speed, but on the other end of Stanton, it is there because they have another contact point. But because there's a void in homes, it's not lucrative for them to put it in. Mid-Hudson doesn't have anything on their plans, and both companies were very forthright and said, we just, we aren't gonna do it in some places. So there have been years of people saying, it's coming. It really may not be coming. So people might wanna think about alternatives like HughesNet or something else. And it might be really good to get that information out to the public about, what is available for them. So anyway, thank you and good night.
Mrs. McDonald, thank you for your patience. I know it was long, arduous process for you.
6 years.
Yeah. But thank you for your patience. I know it was frustrating.
And thank you for 3 hours of sitting here through all this tonight, to wait for that.
We're even now.
Dan, I picked up one meeting to give him a compliment.
Kudos to Mr. Baker and his crew for getting that.
And also, I know that you had the town of Baltimore also assist you.
Yeah,
Thanks
so,
for that as well.
Again, like I stated, last year, we bought the pipe and
Yeah.
budget issues, and we were able to get Alan, that saved a couple $1,000s. And it was all, and I explained to the McDonald's, it was, paving and just lining up with them and just trying to get it all together.
Yeah, it works.
Fine, so,
In due time.
we knew we were gonna do it, just.
Oh, he's back.
I just wanted to bring up, some of you must got an email from my wife about the traffic. They're now running the sweeper on the road again.
I did not get an email from
I
your
didn't
board.
get any-
She can't get you to.
Keith, I received it and she said, can you send it to the rest of the board? I got it at like 3 o'clock
Yeah,
or
she
so.
did
I
it.
will send it to him.
But
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you go. So, the street trooper is back on the road again, spilling dust all over the place. He sat out in front of my house on Limekill, but right out the end of my driveway in Limekill, sitting there with the broom just sweeping, and he's sitting in the truck for like 3 minutes and the dust is just blowing up.
Oh,
She emailed you guys the pictures, and maybe not all of you, but she asked you to pass it on
Yep,
to them.
I'll get it.
But she also contacted DEC, with Wholesome and all them with the same video and I just wanted to see where we're going with this, because this has been 10 years. And not that you guys have been working on it for 10 years, but this has been 10 years with Carver and them with the dust. And now they seem like they're turning the company over, they're renaming it
it is.
and everything, and now it's gonna become another ball of roll where, because they're not even answering you guys in emails or phones, and they're not contacting, It's just a terrible thing. I mean, the truck drivers are fine, some of them are bad, some are good, but they're basically all good and everything like that. It's just, they're not keeping the dust in the quarry where they're supposed to keep it, and it's out on the street. I watched the guy go up the street the other day, because now they're not taking to the port, they're going towards Gilliland or someplace with all the trucks now, with all the stone on it, and they're going up 9W. I let 2 out the other day on my way home at 2:30, and they're going up the road. The dust is just flying off the trucks. I mean, they're not using the tire wash like they're supposed to, and because they're not using the wash station up there, now that because it's so dry out, all that dust is down at the bottom of the hill and on our road in front of the plant, in front of the town offices and out there when everybody turns and comes in off of 9W on the Mountain Road extension. I don't know what, we also called, my wife also called, stated, State Department because over in Voorheesville, because the street sweeper last week went down 9W towards the red light with the brooms on. He's not supposed to be on a state road sweeping the road, but that's where he went the other day. So just want to see where the board and where the town's going with this, because it's been a long process and it doesn't seem like it's getting anywhere. And, you know, and they're getting fined and stuff like that, but it's not doing anything, you know. I mean, we have it every day. There's at least 100 trucks a day going in it. You know, if it's not 50 and they're coming back, because now they're making a bigger round trip, so there could be more or less, but the dust is just horrendous. My grandson was out there helping my wife bring in groceries out of the car, and he's sitting out there and the dust is billowing, and he comes in the house and goes, Mimi, I can taste it in my mouth, you know, the dust and everything. So this is a 5-year-old kid, you know. He doesn't know, you know, but this is what we deal with every day. And now you got the street sweeper going up and down the road, and all he's doing is not using any water. He's just sweeping and vacuuming it up, and you can just see it just blowing up around the truck. You know, so this is just unhealthy for all of us. My neighbors all gave up on fighting the cause, and the only one really fighting is my wife still. So I just want to see where you guys are on this and where you're going with it, because it's a 10-year process. I mean, you, like I said, you guys haven't been here that long, but that's where it's been. They've been over there 10 years, and this has been going on, and we're still got it. I mean, they, you know, tell us they spent this much money, that much money, but they didn't spend it in the right spot. And then right here, Carver's the one, I can't think of his name, not Pete, but whatever his name was. He was right here and said they don't have adequate water to run the water tire station up there. He said it right at a board meeting. So, you know, they just keep running and doing violations, and there's no recall, you know. Just want to, you know, I'd like to get this addressed and get it accomplished, you know, because this is 10 years. And they're only running our road. They're running the 2 other roads because you shut them down and everything like that. So, you know, this is just getting to be a little much, you know. And I understand they're trying to run a business. And like I said, it's not the drivers, but they're supposed to keep the dust in the quarry, not outside the quarry. And that's the problem we have. You know? So I'd just like to see what the board and what the town plans on doing about this, because it's just not getting addressed. All right? That's all. I just wanted to.
So, I don't know why she didn't email me, because the last time she emailed me.
I don't know. I'm just saying, but she addressed everybody's.
Me in the past, but I didn't
So,
get.
well, the last time with the sweeper, she emailed me and supervisor, and tell her to email me, okay? And we agreed to get rid of the sweeper. And I called and they got rid of the sweeper. Now, I'm unaware that it came back.
But see, they just got hit with violations. And because it's been so dry, they started the sweeper up to try to, and he's not using water, and they don't use water, so it's just a filthy
Do you want me
mess.
to call them and say, get rid of the sweeper?
Yeah, I was gonna write an email to you today because these all came in at around 4 o'clock while we were doing all the work that we had to do, and I was gonna just do it to you tomorrow morning to see what kind of options that we have ahead of us, because we don't know what if that's in the permit, the street sweeper and the watering.
No question whether there's some condition in their DEC permit that requires them to take certain actions. I don't know.
They're
That may be
allowed to
why
come
they're
out of the
doing it.
quarry. No dust is allowed out of the quarry, so their process was to, I told them that they needed a truck wash to go through it, but then they put a tire wash in, but then they don't even have the water in the facility, because where they are, they don't have any case to get water. But why would you put something in if you don't have water? And then tell everybody that they're gonna use it. The only time they use it is when DEC comes down and is outside. Then all the trucks run up there, like the foremans, run up and say, hey, you need the water. Whether they stop running the trucks that day, or they get some kind of water and splash some water on the trucks, and then they come out.
Is that Heidelberg sweeper?
No, it's Callaway,
Okay.
So it's-
Kennedy?
Canada.
Canada.
But it's not. It's Heidelberg's property. It's Heidelberg's.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
don't
not
think
Carver's
that-
company anymore.
Right.
I don't think they purchased Kennedy.
Yeah, I
No,
don't
they
know.
didn't, but it's their, it's not Carver
Is
up
it?
there. It's Heidelberg.
Heidelberg's doing the trucking. Whether
They
they're
want the-
contracting with someone else to do the street sweeping and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that means.
But that's on Heidelberg. They're the ones subcontracting.
Or it's on Wholesome, who's the property
Wholesome,
owner.
right,
but not Carver.
But not Carver.
Not Carver.
Like Carver, yeah.
Probably if you call Dave McLaughlin tomorrow and say, ditch the sweeper.
Yeah, I've been reaching out. That was another thing today that I had to send another phone call because during the break when everybody was off, I got emails back that were automated responses, and Wholesome is now changing the name to Amcram or
Amrise.
Amrise in their public. So that came back that there was a different email for Dave. I haven't got a response from Dylan Nideker, and that's a tomorrow thing, Friday.
They changed all their, because the person that my wife was dealing with is no longer handling that. They got a whole nother crew.
Yeah.
They just changed names and got new people in and.
I mean, as far as I read from just the news, Heidelberg purchased trucks, employees, not all of them, some sand and gravel pits, quarries. I didn't hear anything about Kennedy, so I don't know. That's something that I have to research
Still
tomorrow.
the sweepers out there and the dust is just horrendous, you know. It's just,
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I talked to you today, and I said just let her know. I don't have time
Well,
to.
I mean, that's what, she was, I get the earful.
No,
I
but
just wanted to bring it up. I just wanted to see, because we gotta do something about this.
like Carol McDowell, I mean, I remember when she came in and she said, I don't know what to do. And I said, you're doing the first right thing. You came here to tell us, and we're gonna do something about it. And we are doing something about it. We're
No, I
working
got
on
it.
it.
It's a slow process.
It is.
Couple things, I appreciate the grant effort, I think they're, positive for the town. With the wastewater grant, has anybody talked about the I&I problems? And does that grant,
That's why we're working with the village and what we just did, that resolution.
because I didn't hear much about the I&I getting corrected, so that's a big problem for Keith.
Yeah, so our engineers have the town's I&I report, they have the village's I&I report, and I believe Steve Adams is still is he done with the preliminary engineering report?
Okay, well, I didn't hear it, so I just wanted to make sure if, again, you're moving forward with grants, if you're gonna get a couple $1 million, that's a big problem. The other question I haven't been able to get the answer is, it's a great thing what they did over at the pool, they did the splash pad. Okay? 100,000 gallons a day, where's that water going?
That's a good question.
It's not being recycled because
Is that going right to us?
I don't know if it's going in the storm,
I think it's coming down to us.
it's going to him.
That's a lot of water.
You guys should be asking that question.
Yeah, that's a great
Right?
question.
They got a brand new splash pad, and I don't think they recycle because it's a public health issue. I think it gets drained. I'm just curious where it goes. I have trouble finding the answer.
Okay.
Right? And again, you guys and him should know if they're putting 100,000 a day, right?
Yeah.
They should be concerned as well. But, so.
Yeah, we're in constant talks with them. That's why we're trying to move forward these resolutions so that we can, and that's why that one resolution had, paragraph 6 had that language in it because it was asked for.
So granted, it will only run probably for July and August, and then probably get shut off, but I think it's
Where's the splash pad
at the pool.
so the village should know that stuff, right?
Well, yeah, somebody should, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of water, I just.
A lot of water.
I hope it's not going to the sewer plant.
Right,
Wow.
Thanks, Dan, that's great.
thank you.
Get your bathing suit on and go in the splash pad.
Me in a bathing suit?
Any further public comment?
Are you gonna reach out to the village?
Yeah, we have conversations. It's been a while since the last time we had the town and village meeting. The last time I had contact with Nancy, she came in for a meeting that we had with OCR, just so that she could be in on, she had questions about.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say she had questions about the way the water travels to the wastewater treatment plant and the responsibility of the village for that, lift stations and things like that. So we're in talks, that's for sure. But
We had talked about some 3 hours ago having an executive session tonight. I don't
Say
know if we
that.
wanna save that for Tuesday or.
I think
save
that
it
would be-
tonight. But
Probably would be the.
some of those issues.
best way to-
will
Tuesday,
be-
Tuesday.
I think the
could be
topic is,
raised in that context,
yeah,
right?
the topic's pretty straightforward, and I think we're probably all in agreement about how to proceed, but
Yeah.
I think it would be best to probably have executive session. Are you gonna come on Tuesday?
Sure,
Oh,
sure.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, seeing no more public comment, I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank
Second
you.
that.
At
All in
9:06.
favor? Aye.
We have to get Linda